Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Your host, Flywheels, back in the seat a night early for our affordable group break. Technically, this is the July 31st. Obviously, it's not the 31st, but that is to allow me to take in a viewing of the new Spider-Man movie tomorrow night with my family. So, moved it up a night. So I appreciate everybody's support. On tap tonight, we have a hobby box of 1996 Stadium Club Series 2. This is a set that I'm very close to completing myself. As a matter of fact, when I bought this box, I've been sitting on it for a little while. When I bought this box, I realized that I needed Series 1, not Series 2. Most of what I still need, I should say, is from Series 1. So I just, instead of opening it and looking for a few inserts or like a handful of cards, I think I only need two cards from from the set. So just figured I'd hold it and we would break it in the group. Now, the dealer that I got this from, I have gotten multiple stuff from, and it's, generally speaking, I think the stuff has been stored decently. The thing with, of course, with mid-90s that you have to worry about is the potential for bricking. I've actually got a little homemade humidor behind me where I am trying to unbrick the contents of two boxes that I've recently opened. 1995, Fleer. And then I had a box of 1993 Creators Universe, which is a comic set. So hopefully we won't have to add anything to that humidor. But we are looking, let's see, you get one TSC double stamped short print, kind of, per pack. And then inserts include the retrospective Mickey Mantle, the medalists, which are die cut, power packed, etched foil, Bash and Burn is an etched foil, TSC awards, diffraction foil, basically rainbow. And then there are also the Extreme Player parallels, if I'm not mistaken. Hoping these aren't bricked. If they are, then what we'll do is, so as not to cause damage, we'll just postpone opening them, and we'll put them in the humidor, assuming that's going to work. But oh, good, they're sliding apart, so maybe we won't have to worry about that. I like this blue light better. All right, so if you are not familiar with the cards, here you go. Kind of a simple design, full bleed. The name bar and the gold foil don't really take up too much of the image or cover up too much of the image. So we got Andahar Cedeno. Here is your back. It's got the kind of like they've done in years past. At this time, they've got the skills matrix, a little different. Kind of reminds me of some of the 90s superhero cards where you had your power ratings, fighting, and stuff like that. Little bio, but yeah, I always like this set. We got Jeff Fossero for the Expos, and of course, it's Stadium Club, so you're going to get some really good shots like this. Sandy Alomar for the Indians. Got Gary Sheffield, Marlins. Brady Anderson, Orioles. And we got an insert in the first pack. We'll set that aside. There is a card stuck to it that some of those inserts can be a little wonky. All right, here's your Team TSC. These are the one per pack, but these are technically short prints. We got Mark Wohlers for the Braves. Got Chuck Knobloch for the Twins and Chris Hammond for the Marlins. Yeah, Jared, Stadium Club, what can you say? I guess the only year of Stadium Club that I really didn't like was 93. I'm building 91. I'm building 92. I'm building 94, 95, 96, and 97. I kind of quit there. All right, so we've got this is one of the TSC awards. It's Jose Mesa, the Indians. So I don't think it's going to be a highly sought after card. Okay, actually, the Indians were not taken, and it stuck to a Joe Randa for the Royals, which the Royals were taken. So I've been down this road. If I flex the card, we're going to damage it. It's not wanting to budge. So I'm going to stick this in the humidor. And hopefully by the weekend, maybe I can take it apart and it not get damaged. So you're the only one here, Jared. So and you don't have a dog in the fight with that, but I think that just makes the most sense. All right, next up, we got Greg Jeffries, Philly. Alex Fernandez for the White Sox. Roger Pavlik, Rangers. There's a Pudge Rodriguez for Rangers. Oh, I love these cards with the old technology. Look at that Zach Morris style cell phone. Todd Zill, Yankees. Oh, got a retrospective Mickey Mantle. Armando Benitez, Orioles. The Team TSC is Denny Nagel. Travis Fryman for the Tigers, and Jacob Brumfield for the Pirates. Arrgh. old foil packs. Things do not want to open very easily. All right, we got Rick Cravetta for the Orioles. Larry Walker, Rockies. Tony Eusebio, the Astros. Armando Benitez again. Charlie Hayes for Philly. Robbie Thompson, flying through the air. Giants. Another Pudge. Team TSC is Bobby Higginson for the Tigers. Checklist. Jose Canseco for the Red Sox. And Quilvio Veras, Marlins. Chili Davis for the Angels. Mike Stanton, Red Sox. Another Robbie Thompson. Joe Randa, Royals. Tony Gwynn, Padres. Jacob Rumfield again. Team TSC is Jeff Brantley for the Reds. Sheffield, checklist. Bobby Jones for the Mets. And Barry Larkin for the Reds. Checklist will be if you want a checklist, just let me know. A lot of times I just put them in whoever has a big stack of cards, unless someone has requested a checklist. So just let me know. All right, we got Omar Vizquel. Oops. And somebody's feet. Got Matt Lawton, the Twins. Another checklist. Carlos Delgado for the Jays. Jeff Blauser for the Braves. Lee Tinsley for the Red Sox. The one and only Diamondbacks card in Series 2, Buck Showalter. Jim Eisenreich for the Philly. Terry Steinbach, the A's. Mike Matheny, the Brewers, yep. And a John Smoltz, TSC. Todd Stottlemyre for the Athletics. Manny Ramirez for Indians. Checklist. These are every which way. Team TSC, Dennis Eckersley. Mark Grudzielanek for the Expos. Steve Finley, Padres. Jeff Bagwell, the Astros. Tommy Green for Philly. Steve Rodriguez for the Tigers. Tim Salmon for the Angels. And Joe Oliver for the Brewers. Oh, we've got to look at the odds. Let's see. The extremes, gold are 1 in 48, silver 1 in 24, bronze are 1 in 12. So we should see 2 of the bronze and 1 silver more than likely. The Mickey Mantle retrospectives are 1 in 12. Medalists are 1 in 48. Power Pack 1 in 48. Bash and Burn 48, and TSC Awards 1 in 48. So basically 1 in 2 boxes, give or take, for most of the inserts. Do have the 1 so far, but it is partially bricked. Reggie Sanders for the Reds. Carlos Baerga for the Indians. Team TSC is Bob Abreu. Sammy Sosa for the Cubs. Bobby Jones for the Mets. There's a nice Kyle Ripken. Orioles. Chris Bosio for the Mariners. Ruben Sierra, the Yankees. Rusty Greer, Rangers. Carlos Perez, Expos. Paul O'Neill, Yankees. Chris Snopek for the White Sox. Checklist. Another one for the Reds. John Smiley. Kurt Abbott, Marlins. Ray Langford for the Cardinals. Esteban Loaiza, Pirates. Tony Phillips, Angels. Dave Nielsen, the Brewers. Keith Lockhart, Royals. And Jay Buhner, Mariners. Glenn Allen Hill for the Giants. John Olerud for the White Sox. Not the White Sox, the Blue Jays. Team TSC, we have Kenny Rogers for Texas. Troy Percival for the Tigers. And here is our first extreme players. We have the bronze, so we should have 1 more of these. These were 1 in 12. Jeff King for the Pirates. Will Clark, the Rangers. There's Sandy Alomar. David Fletcher for the Expos. Mark Smith, Orioles. And David Howard for the Royals. I'm just so glad these are not bricked. Rico Brogna, Mets. Mariano Rivera for the Yankees. For the Cubbies, we have a Team TSC Randy Myers. Jeff King for the Rangers. Julio Veras again. Marquise Grissom, Braves. Roger Pavlik for the Rangers. Denny Hawking, Twins. Tom Pagnozzi, Cardinals. Ryan Thompson, the Mets. Tell you what, my tips of my fingers are going to be hurting after tonight. These packs are taking a toll. Ron Vallone, Padres. Mo Vaughn, Red Sox. For the Cardinals, got Team TSC, Tom Hinkie. Ed Sprague, Blue Jays. BJ Surhoff for the Brewers. Alan Benez, the Cardinals. Tony Eusebio again. Cal Eldridge for the Brewers. Bernie Williams, Yankees. Michael Tucker, Royals. Ron Karkovice, the White Sox. Jason Jacome, the Royals. A Rod Beck, Team TSC, the Giants. Alan Trammell, Tigers. Kyle Eldred again. Edgar Martinez, Mariners. Another Robbie. Trinidad Hover for the Rockies. Orlando Merced, Pirates. Fred McGriff, Braves. All right, we're already halfway through the box. Still looking for one more bronze Extreme Players parallel, and we should have a silver lurking in the second half. And then probably one more Mickey Mantle retrospective. And then anything else other than that would be gravy. Another Terry Steinbach. Jose Vizcaíno for the Mets. Another Armando. The third one of that. Jeff Fry. Eric Hansen for the Red Sox. Kurt Abbott. Shane Andrews for the Mariners. We have a Mike Hampton, Team TSC. Looks like the Astros. Vallone and Hammond. So we're going to see dupes. We're going to see a good bit of dupes probably. And Jeff King. Scott Leas for the Twins. Joe Randa for the Royals. Dave Martinez, White Sox. Roger Bailey, Rockies. Another Eusebio. We have a Danny Tartable, the Athletics. Did not know he played for them. We have a Marty Cordova, tops our Team TSC, the Twins. Karkovice. Oops. Don't worry, it was my team. The Lemmer, Mark Lemke. Domingo Cedeno, Blue Jays. Barry Bonds, Giants. There's the Buck Showalter again. John Hudak, Astros. John Eriks for the Pirates. And if anybody wants any of the little promo cards, let me know. All right, here's our second bronze extreme players. We have Ismael Valdez for the Dodgers. Ray Langford, Cardinals. Mark Loretta, the Brewers. Team TSC, Ray Durham, and a Jim Thome for the Indians. I don't think anybody showed Cleveland any love this week. That's all right. Give me some more trade fodder. Unclaimed teams, that is. Felipe Lira for the Tigers. There's the Valdez base card for the Dodgers. Tommy Green for Philly. Jeff Suppan, Red Sox. Luis Alicea for the Red Sox. Glenn Dishman for the Padres. Another Suppan. John Franco is the Team TSC for the Mets. Frank Thomas for the White Sox, and Mark Kerrigan for the Giants. I said Red Sox, I meant White Sox. Jeez. Jamie Moyer for the Orioles. Pat Kelly, Yankees. Chris Bosio, Mariners. Chan-Ho Park, Dodgers. Raul Mondesi for the Dodgers. Another Marquise Grissom. Another Hudak. Rick Aguilera, Team TSC for the Twins. Ray Sanchez for the Cubbies, and Juan Guzman for the Jays. Kurt Schilling for Philly. Mark Portugal for the Reds. Another Tony Phillips. Another Matheny. Pretty young Andy Pettit there for the Yankees. John Eriks again. Got another Dave Martinez. Team TSC is Jamie Navarro for the Cubs. Albert Bell, Indians. Tony Tarasco for the Expos. Fernando Vina, the Brewers. Another Omar. Team TSC Jeter. Steve Wojciechowski for the Athletics. Oh, we got a silver extreme players, Rico Brogna for the Mets. A nice little bonus. Steve Finley, Sosa, Suppan, Buhner, and Sierra. I said bonus. These are 124, so basically one per box. We're down to the final 5. We'll see maybe if we got one more insert hiding somewhere. Baerga, Todd Stottlemyre for the A's. Karam Garcia is the team TSC for the Dodgers. Grudzielanek. Yep, there is one more Mickey Mantle retrospective. Cordero and Grudzielanek, both for the Expos. Chano Park, Dodgers. David Howard for the Royals, and Jay Buhner again. Stubborn pack. Another Snowpack, another Sanders, Wilson Alvarez for the White Sox, Team TSC, Sosa, Eusebio, Curtis Laskanik for the Rockies, another Wojo, another Matheny, another Thompson, and another Howard. John Wasden. Hey, we got an insert. Medalists. These are, they called them laser cut at the time. You can see you've got a little side profile portrait and then the word medalist and the stitching of the baseballs. That's pretty high tech for a mid-90s card. Turk Wendell for the Cubs, Brian Barber, Cardinals, another Green, Abbott, Team TSC is Johnny Damon, and Olaru and Paul O'Neill, Yankees. All right, final 2. Jim Edmonds. Can't remember who was looking for Edmonds cards. Somebody asked a week or 2 ago. Another Rivera, Glenn Allen Hill for the Giants. Remember when Ruben Rivera was the rage? Percival, Sanders, Tom Candiotti for the Dodgers, Alan Trammell, Sheffield, and McGriff. All right, last pack. We're at just over the 30-minute mark. Antonio Ozuna, Dodgers. Kevin Foster, Cubs. Another Pudge. It's Sprague, Eddie Murray, John Wasden, Jeff Conan. Huh. And we've seen pitchers throwing footballs on baseball cards. Now we have them playing tennis. John Nunnally, I don't know how you say his name. And Brogna and Bell. So thank you. Hallelujah. These were not bricked. The only card that is bricked is one of the inserts. But like I said, I'm going to throw it in the humidor and we'll see what happens. Again, it was a award winners, which have lots of rainbow foil on them. Jose Mesa, but I mean, it's firmly stuck. Can't slide it, can't do anything. So hopefully that other trick will work. But hopefully this went okay for everybody. We'll stack of short prints. Like I said, kind of had to pivot here at the last minute since for whatever reason, the mega boxes of Topps Chrome, they either have a different release date and or mine was back ordered and not going to be, and it didn't ship with the blaster. So I'm hoping I'll have that this week, and then we can do Chrome next weekend. I'm not going to put up the claim or the sign up post until I have it in my hand, because I don't want to run into people signing up and paying and I don't have it in my possession. So our signups may not go up on Tuesday. It may be a very short window, but we'll see. Quick recap of the extreme players, the redemption cards, parallels. We've got Rico Brogna as the silver, and then to the two bronze we have Ismael Valdez and Jeff King. We did get two of the Mickey Mantle retrospectives. Pretty cool cards. We got one medalist, and then again we got the awards that stuck. So that is it. Thank you guys for another week successful break. Keep them coming as long as there is support there. So keep your eye on the Facebook page for signups when I have a little bit more information about that. And otherwise, y'all have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next Friday night. Y'all take care.